Good morning, lovelies. Well, it's morning where I am. How are you all today? I hope you're well. I'm still feeling a little bit not quite right. I'm fine, I'm just not on all cylinders, as it were. And I'm fancying some comfort food, some comfort eating. So that's what I'm going to get on with in a second. But I suddenly had a bit of a last night about ingredients. So I've just done a little top-up shop. I'm going to go through my little top-up shop with you. So a week or so ago, 10 days or so ago, I did a Sainsbury's online, deliver it to my door food order. Yay! Takes the weight out of it. But I forgot to get any chickpeas. And I think I've got one. Have I got one? Yeah. Well, I've got two different types actually. So that's what I normally get from Sainsbury's. It's the organic chickpeas. Comes in a carton. It looks quite small, but it's the equivalent of a tin. 230 grams. Tins vary from like 230 to 245, 250 grams. So I've got that one, and then I've also got this Bold Bean Co. one from Kate, when Kate visited in August. And I just checked the drained weight. You want to look at the drained weight. So the drained weight is 500. So that's the equivalent of 2 tins in there. So I thought, oh great, because of what I want to do today. Plus I was mentioning I want to do a recipe with you that I did with the guys. I'm going to do that probably in a couple of days, just because I feel really flat. So I've got enough to do my bits and bobs, but it would mean I'd have an empty cupboard afterwards. So yeah, it prompted me to go out and do this top-up purchase, and then I'm going to come back to talking about the chickpeas in a second. So I've done it all at the co-op. What did I get? I've got my trolley. You can tell the fact that I'm lifting it up, it's not full. I took my trolley anyway because I had some parcels to take to the post office. Thank you to anyone and everyone who's ever bought anything from my little shop. More often than not, it's books. So a few books have gone off to their new owners today. Yay! So I bought for myself these little satsumas, easy peelers, whatever they call them. I've had these a few times now. Specifically this little boxed one. It actually works out about the same price as buying 2 netted bags, but why I like these, well, apart from the fact that the fruits, so far they've all been wonderful. You know, the quality of the food's the most important thing ultimately, isn't it? But also I like it because the packaging, it's cardboard, so I can chuck it in the recycling. And that's £2.60. How many do we get in there? It's not going to be a set amount, it's going to be more of an average. So that's a flash of them. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So 15 fruits in there for £2.60. You can tell I'm a bit off because my brain doesn't want to do that mathematics. 15 for £2.60, 150. No, one. I can't do the maths. Hold on a second. I am going to. Oh my goodness, this is a rare occurrence. How many times have you ever seen me on videos doing my maths, like quick, smart, mental arithmetic? Yeah, this brain is not happy at the moment. So we've got £2.60. divided by the 15 fruits equals, so it works out at 17 and a bit pence per fruit. But like I said, they're really lovely, and in terms of rubbish, that can go in the recycling, good, rather than those horrid plastic nets. Let's kind of get on at our supermarkets and say, please end the days of the plastic nets. And look, I know you can make a kitchen scourer from it, but if you're buying all your fruit and veg in plastic nets every week, how many scourers do you need? I've also bought, so this is tying into today, what I want to make for myself today, some oat cakes. These are the fine milled ones. I really like the fine milled ones. And these are £1.35. So again, if you've not hard nouns if you're from overseas somewhere. And look, the thing with these is, I'm going to show them to you just in case you never had them. So they come like this. This is the only issue with them. I mean, it's kind of good, but it's also bad. Inside, they come in these little packets, so you don't open the whole lot at once. And there's 7. In the fine milled ones, you get 7. In the rough ones, you get 6. But if you just want to open a packet and have those over a couple of days, great, you're not opening the rest. But then there's the plastic. The other thing is, I'm sure some people are going to think this, oh, but you could make your own, Vivi, they're so easy. Yeah, when have I got time to make oatcakes? And of course then you're putting the oven on, and if it's a day when you're not putting the oven on, so I've bought them, £1.35. Yeah, a block of cheese. This is mature cheddar. It's their own labelling, from British Milk, £2.79. I don't think that's too bad actually. Oh yeah, this was a definite need. Brown rice. Where's my brown rice? Easy cook, long grain brown rice. That's a kilo and it's £1.75. So on the way, I checked at my, I've got a plastic free / health food shop here. Good range of stock. There's a couple of things they've got that I might actually have in for Christmas. Sorry, my throat's a bit wonky. And anyway, so I checked they do it loose, but I think it's something like £3.30 a kilo. Oh, and it's doubling it, and I just couldn't go to double this week. It's a bit of a tight week this week. Anyway, so I've got some brown rice, good, because I'm on to my last few grains of rice. I don't have rice a lot these days, not a lot at all, but yeah, it's gone down. A garlic, Liz garlic, quite a big one with lots of big fat cloves in there. I did on one of my Sainsbury's orders, you know, this sort of the delivery where they deliver it. I'd ordered a couple of cloves of garlic because I thought, oh, I'm getting really low. I'm having this delivery. I might as well add garlic to it. Got hair in my eyeball, but the oh my goodness, the cloves were so. The actual bulb itself was really tiny, and inside it there were maybe 10 minuscule cloves, and it was such a faff and a fiddle because, like, I can take one of these out now. So that one clove, that's a good size. Actually, so I'd used 2 of those in my cooking. So I'm only peeling, and I know, again, it sounds like, oh, what are you moaning for, Vivi? I'm aware, don't want to be a moaner, but there we go. 2 of those just to peel and chop. Great, done in a couple of minutes. But when it's, I mean, there was one recipe I did the other day. I ended up using 8 of these little teeny tiny skinny pathetic cloves. So peeling, and it's such a, anyway, who's got time for that level of fiddle and faff? You know, if it's a one-off, not so much. But remember, you know, I'm cooking almost every day, so I don't want to spend that much time in the kitchen. Anyway, that was 60p, quite a lot. So, yay, fingers crossed, all the garlic in the garden comes good. I can't remember how many I planted. I know there were 21 of the Isle of Wight garlics, because there are 5 in each of the 4 bags and 1 spare. And then I can't remember how many kind of regular supermarket ones I planted. Maybe another 10 or so. So 21, 31, maybe between 30 and 35 of my own garlics. That's slightly less than 1 bulb per week. But anyway, fingers crossed they come good. And then finally, Esther, the chickpeas, I've got 2 tins, 65p each. Right, I'll come back to that now. So in total today, that is £10.39. £10.39. That's all right, isn't it? But, you know, obviously that's going to last quite some time. Fruit, I've got fruit in there, that's expensive. Now, so on to the chickpeas. I've got a load of dried chickpeas in. Yay! And I've got my fantastic Instantpot from Nikki. Yay! And I can't wait to try it. I can't wait to get playing with it and using it. And I've talked about this before, but the way I intend to use it, ostensibly I intend to use it to get all my dried beans and pulses, like chickpeas, get them done quickly and more economically. So for example, if I was doing a portion of dried chickpeas without the Instantpot, and I was just doing one portion, I probably would never do just one portion, but I would soak them overnight and then the next day give them their boil. Chickpeas are a long boil, like a couple of hours, isn't it? So that's quite a lot of time on the stove. That's quite a lot of, not a lot, but it's organisation, and it's having to remember, oh, I want to cook with chickpeas tomorrow. I need to soak them tonight. That organisational aspect of cooking, actually, I don't find it too difficult because, you know, I am quite organised, and I'm always, the meals are all planned ahead. I was mentioning the other day, so for instance, of a night time, I think, right, I know what I'm cooking tomorrow, so I need to take tomatoes out of the freezer, etc. Anyway, even so, it's a little bit of extra faff, and it's that stove top time, a couple of hours on an electric stove. Electric prices, how they are. So with the Instantpot, the plan will be to do a big batch and, you know, get them done quite quickly in that Instantpot, and then divvy them out to put into the freezer so they're cooked, and from cooked I'll freeze them. And then when I need to use chickpeas in a recipe, I'll take a portion out of the freezer, defrost it overnight in the fridge, next day cook with it, do whatever it is that I want to do with it. So now the reason I haven't done that so far, and I'm not doing it today, is because the freezer is still rammed. So it got massively filled up with tomatoes. The tomatoes were taking up 2 full drawers. 4, 8, 12, 24. Yeah, I can get 24. It's these ones. I can get 24 of those, and these are the equivalent of a tin. 24 per drawer. I had 2 drawers in, it was just tomatoes, so it was 48. So it's like the equivalent of 48 tins of tomatoes. They've gone down quite a bit, but in them going down, I've used up the spaces with soups, etc, etc. So I think probably using the Instantpot, getting my chickpeas sorted and done, that's probably going to be more into the new year, into February maybe. As those tomato supplies go down, I can start to increase my chickpea supplies. So, yeah, so there we have it. So what am I going to cook today? Bear with me a sec, I need to get some water. That's a bit better. Right, so one of the things I'm going to do today is I'm going to get into this gorgeosity. I'm going to do a soup with half of it, the other half probably into a curry. I don't know, it might just be loads and loads of soup because it is that time of year. I love soup for lunch in the winter. I love soup for lunch anytime, but especially in the winter. So this was the other bit of planning in terms of the freezer and the freezer space, and not doing chickpeas in the Instantpot today. So I'm going to use half of this today. Oh, interestingly, Richard and Paul were saying with theirs, they eat the skin as well. When I've roasted squash in the past, when I do a roasted butternut, roasted stuffed butternut recipe, and once it's been roasted, I sometimes do eat the skin. Sometimes I find it just a little bit tough. It's just personal preference. I like my soups really smooth and creamy, so I will be skinning it. So yes, half today with, I've got a few leftover carrots. This is also going to be a bit of a what's in the fridge use up session. So I've got some carrots, I've got a red pepper, and that might do in terms of the veg I add to it. I might even add a handful of red lentils. I might do, I might not. I'll decide as I'm on the hoof. But certainly I will be adding some lovely warming spices, some turmeric, some cumin, those lovely warming spices that aren't too hot. They're not heat hot like chili, but they've got that gorgeous warming sense, taste, flavour to them. So yeah, essentially squash, carrots, red pepper. Of course I will start with an onion and garlic, sweat it off for 5-10 minutes, as I do with pretty much any soup, and then that's going to be half of it. So the other half, because I'm not using it straight away, needs to go in the freezer. Hence, I think I've got the equivalent of 4 tray spaces. I think that's what I've got at the moment. I will double check. But then with the other half, I'll simply chunk it up, get it in these trays, probably go in 2 of the trays, pop it in the freezer, and then maybe as soon as next week I'll have it out to cook with. But this soup should do 5 portions, possibly 6. So I might just be eating squash soup every day this week, but that's fine, like I said, it's that time of year when I like soup for lunch, and especially at the moment feeling a little bit under the weather, I really don't want to be cooking every day, so I'm going to get that done today, and and it's on hand for the rest of the week, and gradually I will start to feel like myself again. Right, now let's make I want to make some hummus, because it's a really nice, it's nice as a snack, and hence buying the oat cakes. In the evening, if I don't feel like cooking, and if I've forgotten to get food out of the freezer for myself, a meal, because I've just shown you with my maths that my brain isn't working, if nothing else, I can have a couple of oat cakes with some hummus on, gorgeous. But also I think it's that time of year, isn't it, where I think we want snacks. So I snack a lot, I'm a real snacker, but I mostly snack on fruit, yogurt, that sort of thing, but I think in the winter we want something a little bit more, I don't know, I think it's just all psychology, but I think we want something a bit more solid, don't we? Don't you? I don't know. Maybe just a few more calories in the winter, because we're using more calories in order to stay warm, moving around. I've only got a couple of layers at the moment because I've come back from shopping and I'm warm, but I can feel I'm cooling down already, so I'll put another layer on, but one of them is thermal. Actually, no, I've got 2 thermal layers on under my top. Right, let's get on and make some hummus together. Super simple ingredients. So, star of the show is the tahini paste. This is sesame paste made from sesame seeds. Yum, yum, yum. The other star of the show, of course, the chickpeas. I'm going to divvy them out and put half of them onto one of those trays. Garlic, lemon juice. Now, these 2 here, so this is stock, this is powdered stock, the bouillon I use, and obviously there's oil. So, Paul doesn't use oil in his, I use oil in mine, so that's a bit of me. Paul introduced me to the idea of putting a teaspoon of stock powder in, so that's a bit of Paul and a bit of Vivi, but otherwise, yeah, bog standard, easy peasy, hummus. Now I'm just going to show you here, this is what I was talking about. Look at these little piddlers, they're absolutely minuscule. So you need to, and this one, I mean, there's not even any thickness to it. So you can now see why, having to use, like, I don't know, I think even that lot don't measure up to this one big one. So I'm going to have, 2-3 cloves of garlic in this. I love it garlicky. Actually, that's some to use up. So those 2 plus one of the new ones. You can see now, if I want that much garlic in my food, I'm going to end up doing 15 things. No, thank you. Anyway, right, let's get on. I'm going to just drain these first of all and siphon off half of them to use in my other recipe. Well, it's a good job I have a spare, got those couple of spare tins of chickpeas in, because, I'm just going to quick rinse, I cannot get the lid off the jar. Look, don't worry, I don't need advice. I know all the tricks to get lids off jars. I just can't be bothered doing it right now because I want to get on and get this made. Get the food made and get the video made. So that I'll put aside for now, and I'll do some of the tricks on it later to get it made. So the equivalent of 1 tin of chickpeas, drained, quick rinse. Then, I can't get over the size of this this garlic clove. Now I really love garlic, and there's no one else in here, and I don't plan on snogging anyone in the near future, so load it up. And you know, again, I've mentioned it before, I'll keep mentioning it till the day I die. Garlic is so good for us. Antimicrobial qualities, antifungal, and antibacterial, antiviral. It's brilliant. So I'm not doing a fine chop, just chopping it down a little bit. Oh, smell is gorgeous. Right, so these are just going in the food processor. It's the garlic and the chickpeas for now. Sorry, I should have shown close up for those who aren't, who are just learning to cook, because I know some folk are literally just learning to cook now, and that may have never prepared garlic before. In order to get the skin off, that's what I was doing, is with the flat of the knife on the top of it, bash it down for a second, splits the skin off. I've never tried, I've seen it on, have I seen it on kind of online stuff, but putting the cloves of garlic still with the paper on them into a jam jar and shaking it, and it gets them all off? Or did I imagine it? Oh, I'm being messy. Messy. I am messy when I'm in the kitchen. Right. Oh, actually, I don't need that because that was for the chickpeas, the spare. So I'm going to give this a few pulses to just start to get it mushed up a bit. Do it in terms of how coarse or fine you like it. I know some people like their hummus really, hang on, if I tip you, you'll be able to see a bit better. Like it really creamy and smooth. I don't mind a little bit of the bite of the chickpeas. So this is the Paul bit. Thanks, Paul. It does make it nice and tasty. So this, like I said, this is bouillon. It's a vegetable stock, an instant vegetable stock, powdered. It's bouillon. I've got the large one under here. I decant it into the little small jar, so it's right next to the cooking, so I can get on with it. But this is what I use. The brand is Marigold. Bouillon instant vegetable stock powder, and this is the reduced salt one. I always use the reduced salt one. This size is £7.50 or thereabouts. Does last quite well. Yeah, so did I put it in? Yes, I can see I've put it in. Don't talk and thing at the same time. So also useful implement to have while you're doing this, a little silicone spatula, because things will get stuck. Lemons. The juice of a couple of lemons. I don't have any fresh lemons, fine, that's why I've got lemon juice in the cupboard. So let's start with 1, 2, 3, oh, I'm going to go 3.5, just for controlling this. And again, the lemon is one of those things that's, you know, to taste. Some people, you might not like it quite so zingy. The tahini is all settled somewhat. Then I'm going to put this onto a plate because it's the end of the jar. I can't quite get to it. Plop it on the plate. Oh, go on, Gert, you get the last bit out. So that's, again, I'm after about 3.5 of these spoons. I need a bit more. Let's open a new one. It does settle. Can you see how or separate, the oil is sitting on the top. So, ideally, give it I thought I was going to struggle with another jar opening. Yeah, you need to give it a good stir and combine again, which can be a little bit messy. Try not to spill any out of the top. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, can you? I'm salivating. That might do, and I think actually that's going to do me. Look, it's not none of this is sort of hard and fast. It's what tastes right to you, what do you like. Look at that spoon in a minute. But let's get that in now too. And it really is as easy as that. So I'm going to whiz it up again before I start to add any oil. Can you see okay from there? Oh, the ergonomics in this kitchen aren't great. Wrong way. I'm going to see if I can bring you in closer so you can see how it's coming together, because at the moment it looks like I'm making bread dough. I'm not. Is that a slightly better shot? You're precariously balanced. I'm thinking that the vibrations of this might send you flying, but let's have a go. See, it's starting to come together nicely now. This is the point at which I'm just going to turn the power off. See, this is what I was saying about, you know, grab a spatula. I can see great bits of garlic up the side. Get it down. And yes, I think a little trickle of oil in there. Let's use that. There's my, probably a tablespoon will do it. Oh yeah, lovely, lovely, lovely. Yes, lovely. So at this stage, give it a try. Oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. That's a lot of garlic. It's really piquant with the garlic, but that's how I love it. Oh, it's gonna make me salivate. Yeah, lovely. Let's get it out of this and ready to get into our tummies. Right, best bit now. Get it served up. Get it ready to nosh. I will clean the blade too. You get an idea of the consistency there. you know, all the thing about consistency is it's very much to taste. So you might be able to tell this is probably stiffer than most hummus that you buy in the supermarket, at the deli or whatever. If you want it looser, I mean, you could even add a bit of water to make it go further, a bit more oil. But I like it this consistency. Ooh, waste not, want not. Oh, delish. Because this is going to really stick to my oatcakes. But of course, I mentioned I've got some carrots, leftover carrots as well, so I can have little carrot sticks. But that, my friends, is just how quick and easy it is to do your own hummus. And oh, I can't help myself. And the thing about making it yourself is you can adjust it to what you like. If you like it looser, make it looser. If you like it less garlicky, make it with less garlic. But as a really healthy, lovely snack, this is going to see me well over the next couple of days. There's quite a lot here, so I could always halve it, put half in the freezer to have next week. It's not going to stick around very long, but yeah, a healthy snack. That garlic is going to do me the world of good, but also I haven't costed it out, but I'm sure it's going to be a fraction of the cost of one of those. I mean, they're teeny tiny, what's that noise? Teeny tiny little tubs, and they cost, I don't know, £1 a tub these days. I'm not sure, but yeah, DIY and enjoy. Right, time for me to get on with that soup, because that needs to be lunch today, and it's yeah, time's cracking on. So I'm going to make myself some soup, and then tonight, when I'm curled up under a blanket reading a book, whatever, I can get stuck into some oatcakes with a bit of hummus, and it'll be gorgeous. I shall really look forward to that. Actually, in the meantime though, where are you? Looking down here, of course, it needs to be covered with one of my beeswax wraps. I did do a video showing how I made the beeswax wraps. I should link it on the end of here, shouldn't I? Just a little bit of warmth from my hands is enough to make that wax pliable. So there we go, that'll go in the fridge for snacking on this evening. Can't wait. I might have a little bit more of it this afternoon before this evening. Anyway, all right, lovelies, I will see you all again really soon. I'll be doing that other recipe. I'm hoping we might get a dry day so I can get on with so many outstanding jobs outside. But I'm just kind of doing a fingers crossed for a combination of the dry day and me feeling a little bit more energetic, me feeling like I've got the energy to actually get out there and do something. We'll see. Anyway, in the meantime, lots of love to you all. Cheerio for now.